skeletal system. Types of cells. Osteocytes, cells that build and maintain bones. Bone marrow produce white and red blood cells.